Hello and welcome. Southwest Funding presents the Nick Hyde Memorial, powered by Hyzerbomb, driven by Innova Pro. I'm Paul Ulibarri. I'm joined by Nate Perkins. We're bringing you commentary for the final round of Nick Hyde. Perkins, what happened?
Yeah, it's April. It's Texas. We had some inclement weather, and round 2 was actually canceled. So we are taking the scores from round 1 directly into this final round. And we've got a battle going on. We got Nick Newton leading over Eagle McMahon. We've got local Texas Tornado Nolan Grider, just 1 back of Eagle, 2 back of the lead. We've got Garrett Gurthie, also 2 back of the lead. And we've got a handful of players that are also 9 under par after the first round on the chase card and the third card as well. So the scores are stacked, and we've got a battle for this final round.
Yeah, let's get right into it. Hole 1, par 3, 377 feet. This is playing as the second most difficult hole on the course. So right away, the Harry Myers is showing its teeth.
Yeah.
So the play here is you see obviously those 2 guardian trees on the right, and then there is just nothing but shul on the left. And if you happen to get aggressive and turn it over, there's OB parking lot, as you can see, where he's actually kind of flipping towards this. So if this actually looks great.
Right in front. That's exactly what you want to do. You want to be able to hyzer right in front of those cedars.
What?
Wow. Really?
I did not.
I haven't seen anyone get that close.
No, that was incredible.
And one thing we've definitely got to talk about is the mud that these players are going to have to deal with today. That's why I'm really excited.
And
that's a mid-range.
Yeah, let's talk about Eagle's mid-range he just threw on that first one.
After we just saw Nick get closer than we've seen all week, Eagle puts a mid-range even closer on this 377-foot uphill, mud on the tee, first hole. Wow.
And that's a really good shot that Nolan just threw to about 40 feet. Those first 2 shots were really, really spectacular. So this needs to come out of that.
Needs to stop flying. Oh no. And that's pretty much worst case scenario on hole 1, because there's not much of an up and down. You see he's going for the over the top play.
Oh my God.
Almost throws it in. That was amazing.
And that's typical of this hole. It really forces you to put a lot of power on like a straighter disc, and if you don't hit the angle right, you can really flip over to the right, or you want to try to play stable and the slope pushes you to the left. But these 2 drives by Nick and Eagle are absolutely incredible. And Nick with a hot start, which is what he's going to need in this final round.
That's got to feel amazing to get that first birdie in with a putt that short, leading a large-scale tournament like this, highest-rated player in the world right on your back.
Yeah. Yeah, good point. I mean, I looked at Nick's stats after this tournament, and he's won 3 to 4 B tiers, but no A tiers. And right now, in this position, this is the first time he's been in this position.
It's a big stage. Absolutely. Biggest stage you can play on, really, Jomez. Hole 2, par 4, 468. Round 1, you could attack this. You can go up the middle, get a little sneaky. We might see a lot of these players play safe out to the right due to the mud. I mean, when I played this, the mud, look at the mud on that tee pad right there. And you see his approach on that drive was like twinkle toes. He's like barely stepping.
Right, in his run up there.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a typical shot. So you have the wide open play, as you just saw Nick throw. There's also an aggressive play right down the middle. But this is actually incredible. Eagle is one of the people who has enough arm speed and distance to actually play wide hyzer and skip all the way
Still
around.
Have a chance.
Yeah.
Looks like he flattened that cloud breaker out just a little bit.
And it came out of his hand with a lot of hyzer. So this is that play. If this gets on edge, it could skill.
Yeah, he just needed a little bit more height, a little bit more hyzer. But yeah, he's attacking. It's like Garrett is playing the wide. Garrett could also get there on hyzer.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's the thing with Nolan, if you haven't seen him. I actually think he's been on Jomez in previous Nick Hydes.
VPO he might have been on a few times.
But he's a gamer, been good for a long time.
Yeah.
Top 10 at Worlds, you know, I think at like 18 years old or something,
Really?
or something like
Wow.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, he's a legend in Texas. I mean, he's been doing it a while.
Yeah, inducted to the Texas Hall of Fame at like 30 years old or something like that.
Wow. That's amazing.
Yeah. Good up shots. This is nice and soft.
The approach can be tricky. That's a nice play by Garrett right there because the green kind of funnels right down toward that OB pond.
And that's such a tool to be able to actually jump up from right around 100 feet.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, it makes things easier versus having to spin one down there and make it land soft.
and Nolan actually, he actually left his a little bit short. That was hard to tell. And that was a nice little tester, 25-footer. Which, if you do miss on this basket, the rollaway is definitely in play.
Absolutely.
A good putt there by Garrett.
It's really a good-looking green. One of the signature greens on the Harry Myers Gold layout.
Yeah, and this lead card just coming straight out with a star frame on the second hole. 2 birdies on the first hole. I mean, Nick doing what he has to do.
Yeah. Hole 3, 396-foot, par 3. That cedar, they actually took that cedar out, so these players are going to be going up the middle, something stable.
Yeah, absolutely. Something stable, and you see this little hill right before the basket. Typically, you're going to see people land short into that little ditch, but a perfect shot's going to barely touch that hill and kind of land soft into the green. That's really the only way to land it, close to the basket. This looks pretty good, but it might be a little bit short.
Yeah, the only real danger on this hole is the OB sidewalk long.
Right. And then that's a typical play. Like, he lands a bit short, and then he'll have about 35-footer up the hill. And that's, I mean, you can't really draw it up better than that. But, I mean, that was...
Great-looking shot.
Yeah, unfortunate rollaway, but he's pretty good putter.
Yeah, inside the circle for sure.
If you haven't seen him putt before, he doesn't miss a lot of inside the circle putts.
Yeah, the speed control on both of those shots is great because that basket is on a little crest and you can go short into the creek and have a little tough tester putt, or you can go long toward that sidewalk.
Or you could take the trees out of play like Garrett.
Yeah.
So throw super spike high.
Wow.
That is so far. That plays so far. And like you said earlier, the tee pad's so muddy to have the confidence to really push off.
It's like 450 foot of hyzer, I'd say, to get to this pin.
Nick's 3 for 3. Great putt up the hill. And here's Eagle. Super smooth putt.
Kid's got some focus for sure.
Garrett calmly lining up making sure to do everything right there.
It's a good birdie to get him on the board. The star frame?
Yeah, I think that's got to be the only star frame on that hole.
I think so.
The hole plays very tough.
Yeah.
Hole 4, par 3, 372 feet. And, we explained this a bit in round 1, but I believe this is one of the easier gets on the course. It just kind of keeps you honest with a really straight shot. Whatever disc you throw the straightest, that's what you're probably going to be throwing here. Really not a lot of danger. It's just more, just hit your line. Low ceiling might come into play a bit.
And also, again, the muddy tee pad. I mean, we're going to keep repeating that because it's such a factor in today's round. To be able to slip into that mud and still throw a straight shot, it takes some skill. It's almost like playing the course blind because you're kind of having to change up your form.
Sure, and that was actually, I'm not sure if that was a good tree or bad tree. I think more good than bad.
Looked like it was hot.
And this is what Nolan is known for. Just super smooth, soft landing spin control with power. Like, if you guys want to watch good technique, study that guy's form because he it's almost flawless.
Yep. He's connecting on all ends.
And Garrett, has a little bit of hyzer, so it could skip a little
down.
deep. And it does, but that's definitely makeable. Straddle out, pop that one in. Oh,
wow.
No way. This is Nick.
Unbelievable start, dude.
Dude, that came out of nowhere. It like startled me. I wasn't focused on that.
And that basket is actually a little bit tilted. He got that inside of that tilt. This is amazing.
Wow,
These
what a
players are both 4 for 4 to start.
I can't even believe that. Buckets.
Good looking putt.
Another star frame. So that's a more typical star frame.
Yeah.
But the way that they did it was incredible. I mean, that putt came out of nowhere. Like, I had already kind of given up that he was going to make it.
Yeah.
And then bam, right?
Yeah.
there.
This
So,
comes falling out of the sky. Hole 5 is probably the most dangerous hole on the course. The tightest little gap off the tee. And if you hit and kick right, you're OB with a couple mandatories to play around. The gap's tight, and Nick's actually opting to go backhand through this small gap. Oh, and that double kick right there saved him from worst case scenario OB right.
absolutely. I mean, the fact that he's trying, I don't think he's known for throwing a lot of sidearms. And so to fit a backhand through there is one of the most difficult shots in the game. You see the more traditional play is sidearm like Eagle did, but he even flattened that out a bit straight.
Wow. Nolan made that gap look huge.
Still short though. See, that's the thing. Like, just to hit this gap is a really gratifying feeling, and then to get anywhere near the basket after that's a bonus. Like, you see Garrett right there kind of play it straight and not even towards the basket. He just wanted to get out of the gap, I believe.
Yeah, we only had six players actually to this hole in this final round.
Wow,
Playing as the most difficult hole on the course today.
that is not surprising. Yeah, the fact that they all kind of made the gap and Nick got that good kick, he actually threw a really good upshot to about 20 feet.
No.
That's a good bid. I mean, straddling out, having to beat those branches and to still keep it online. Very good. Great par save by Nick.
Absolutely. There. After hitting pretty much first available, almost kicking OB to get up and down to not lose a stroke to Eagle.
Yeah, on the hardest hole in the course. I mean, these guys are all taking, pars. Very good pars.
Absolutely.
Eagle's
got the busting out the umbrella.
Yeah.
This is right about when the rain started trickling down, just a soft trickle for the rest of the round.
We got a bunch of threes here. Par 3, 333 feet. And yeah, it's a weird hole because you're actually, the traditional route is to throw it over the other fairway.
Mm-hmm.
So we were having to wait on like other groups to kind of play through. So it was kind of an awkward spot in the course. I think Nick's going to go high and hyzer. And
you're really just keeping your fingers crossed about what kind of reaction you're getting off that tree.
Great reaction.
Yeah.
Great reaction.
Yeah, I mean, he was headed right toward the pin, but he's inside the circle.
And if you got it, do this.
Yeah.
He just does a little flick of the wrist, and this.
He's just slowed down almost.
But that shot's playing like a 400-foot spike hyzer.
It's 400
far.
feet of hyzer for sure.
This is a better line. I think he pushed it a bit farther, and it could not even hit the tree. Oh, bases the tree. That was going right towards the hole.
Mm-hmm.
Is this a Sonic?
Looks like a Sonic.
Wow.
Big old Frisbee.
There's no way that gets there, right?
I think cut rolled closer. Oh,
Huh.
It's gonna have a little uphill 50-footer from the casual creek.
Yeah, you can see just the mud everywhere. Part of the entire round was us just picking the mud off of our shoes because here,
It's got that clay, that Texas mud. It's got that clay in it.
Eagles go straight buckets from 30 feet. Here's Nolan from about 30 feet or so. Leaks it a bit left. So it's actually interesting. So Eagle makes this really good putt. This is the first time that Nick has actually putted after him. So this is a big time putt. Yeah, this is a big time putt in the match.
Little tester range.
Yeah.
Yep.
Cash. Oh no.
Well, you don't see that very often on that low left pocket like that.
Yeah, it must have just kind of went in, hit the rings, and then popped out. That's so unfortunate because momentum was all on his side, and now it's when something like that happens, it completely shifts.
It's the first stroke he's lost in this round.
Yeah. And now we're going into, that's so unfortunate. Now we're going into hole 7, par 3, 367 feet. What do we got here?
Well, we've got this low ceiling that we're flying through right now, and that's really the difficulty of this hole is that the ceiling is so low, so far away on the hole. So baby Anheuser, flex one through the gap, or if you have enough distance on your forehand, you can actually take that left gap way up there.
Right, it's actually, that's a good point. Getting it on Anheuser on this shot, because you're playing downhill, I was actually fortunate to get through that little crevice in the tree branches. But by getting it on Anheuser, you're actually going to make the disc push downward, which is really important. So Nick has the angle, but he kind of yanks it a little bit, which is the difficulty on that shot. Aiming down with Anheuser, the misses pull.
Yep.
He gets an unfortunate roll away. Let's see what Nolan does here. So you see how everybody's going Anheuser?
It's got a swoop. Gets past it.
And see what I'm saying? You see how once it's on Anheuser, it kind of drops down?
Yeah, it's beautiful. Garrett's got to be going over the top, right?
I don't think it looks like it.
Just smooths one out there.
Because, to go back to my point, if you throw Hyzers tend to lift a bit, to lift up and flip up. That's why they call it a flip up, right?
Yeah.
And so on Anheuser, it's actually going to drop down.
Yeah. It's a really technical
Very
drive.
technical,
I mean, that's
yeah.
the closest drive.
And that was
I've
really,
seen.
yeah, that was a really good upshot from Nick there.
Yeah. From the trenches. Is he going to spin this one
Buckets.
in?
Let's go, dude. I love that.
Sonic spin action.
This is
He's so good at that shot, dude. Look at him. He loves it.
That's his signature disc for a reason. It's
Oh.
and this is an old school arrow that he's putting with. Look at that.
Yeah.
That is so sick.
He's
He's
probably
known
had that
for
for a decade now.
And Eagle's just on birdie train now, and as we said on the previous hole, the momentum's kind of shift in his favor. Unfortunate spit out by Nick. He pulls it into the tree. Eagle gets another birdie. All of a sudden, Eagle has the lead.
Yeah. He's charging. He's got one over Nick now. We got another tricky par 3, 372, and another hole where the ceiling is low, and it's low really late in the fairway. I saw a couple players go wide forehand, but the play really is backhand on that slight ante again to get it to kind of dip around those last cedars.
So Eagle's going to play the Hyzer and actually take on these guardian trees right there that he splits, which is really, so you're
Kind of the
basically
play almost to just kind of aim at those cedars.
absolutely. If you're gonna throw it on Hyzer, you have to beat those 4 guardians. Like.
And there's that baby Anheuser that we're talking about.
Because
to get
this
low
is
enough.
actually going to skip a bit left, see? If you throw it on Hyzer straight at it, it skips left, and there's that pond there from the rain that we had, where we had. And this is just Garrett Gurthie doing Gurthie things.
Oh, that was a stable disc. You see how quick that came out of that?
Perfect. Go in.
Oh, no, he didn't.
No way. That hit it so hard it scared me.
Oh my gosh, Garrett, that was an inch from being low enough to find the chains.
This is incredible
this.
because He's throwing it on Anheuser over that, which stalls out the disc. That the basket's only 40 feet past those tall trees.
Yeah,
So,
you got to drop it in real quick.
That's the only way to do it is on soft Annie.
But you see that muddy tee pad right there? You see the way that Nick's heel actually rotated, over rotation for sure. The fact that these players are putting together some numbers on this kind of day is impressive.
So Nick actually, in my opinion, threw the shot that the hole was designed for, and he just missed it by a couple inches. That was a really good drive. He just caught the base of that last
cedar,
tree.
yep.
Yeah.
And that hurts because Eagle, once again, is parked, and now he's 2 sticks in front of Nick.
Was that a mid-range that he threw off the tee?
That is. That's his signature disc, the Color Glow MD3.
And this whole plays so far, the 370 that it plays is actually right around 400.
Yeah. Everyone else is throwing driver on this one and hole 1, and McMahon is throwing a mid-range.
I can't believe Garrett tags the top of the basket.
Crazy. This is the signature hole at Harry Myers Gold. Par 5, 858 feet. It's a ripper. So there's an Annie line wide over the top, forehand low and wide, and there's also a gap on the right if you want to try and attack this thing for eagle.
Yeah, that's a really good point. I think that eagle is...
Is he going wide?
Yeah, he's going to go wide, Annie.
With a fairway. That's a fairway.
This is panning, too. It's probably perfect.
Just needs to beat those.
It kicks into a really good spot, though.
Good position. Yeah, he's going to have that straight look at the window.
I thought he would play sidearm, actually. I thought he had the power to kind of get in that same position with the sidearm. And this needs to pan out.
Yeah, can you break that shot down? What are those players trying to do by going so wide and high?
Yeah, so I think they're trying to beat those 2 trees Eagle hit. And if you beat that, you can almost get into the bowl.
Mm-hmm.
And Nolan's actually going for that route.
Inside route.
Inside. And if this gets a little bit lucky, he's going to be in perfect position as well. Looks like Nick's lining up the roller. And a little
I actually saw him skip over that trench the first round, which is kind of wild.
Yeah, this is going to be a difficult shot for him.
He's in a tough spot.
It looks like a pretty good angle.
That's got to make the Mando.
Oh, I can't really tell what happened there. It looks like it was a little bit left, but it may have come down to where he has some sort of shot. Here's double G. Gets this one a little bit too turned over. Hopefully it catches. It does catch something. He'll have a straight route kind of right to the basket. Maybe save birdie. And this is prime. This is prime time right here. Like perfect position. He has all the power to get there. The only tricky part about that is that small gap, obviously. But the footing, the mud, and the conditions are going to keep you from absolutely unloading on a disc and having that extra accuracy.
No, it's a good point. I mean, this fairway is super muddy. And Eagle's just taking that gap out of play, going over the top. Annie PD2. This looks like money. That's coming down.
That is such a high difficulty of shot. Not only to have the power, but to have the angle control to miss the trees on the right and then just to stall. That was almost like the Garrett Gurthie shot over the basket on the last hole where he tags it.
Mm-hmm. I mean, and he's 5 feet away for an eagle.
Right.
And Nick's in trouble. Nick's in jail right here. Looks
Yeah.
like maybe he did make that Mando. It's probably pretty tough for those players to be able to tell from his position.
Absolutely. And that roller's pretty good. It goes a little bit deep, maybe to the right a bit. He'll be circle 2.
Yeah, he's got a putt to only lose 1 to Eagle's eagle.
And this is a long look at the big eagle as well. Nolan playing down the middle and then eagle going over the top. Here's double G to save birdie. Oh, and that just barely drops. It looks like the wind kind of picked up.
Conditions are definitely worsening as the day goes on.
and Nick can't seem to line that one up correctly, and
He's going to lose 2.
yep. Nice birdie there by Nolan. Nick will just clean this up real quick.
An eagle's going to be last to putt to put this one in.
For Eagle, yeah, last to putt. So we got a surprise for you guys. A little spoiler alert. We're gonna cut to some women's coverage. So if you don't want to see that now, turn it off.
Definitely gotta buckle down on this last hole. Hole 9. Par 5, 858. Turns to the right and then goes through the bowl and to the left.
Yep, and that's kind of, the bowl is the aim of the second shot. You want to get up on this hill, but the bowl, I feel like, is the, so you can try to.
It's tricky, again, about placement and where you want to be on your second shot, on your first shot. There's a lot of choices to be made. Paige is going super aggressive. Gotta love this choice here, this line. And she bit it all off and got it.
Yeah, that was
so good.
exactly how you want to play that right side. It's something stable that's going to fight through the gap and pured.
And I just like this straight shot.
Yeah,
just right down the hill where you want to be for your next shot.
Set you up for your next shot. Rebecca does the same. Not sure what that is, but I was playing with her at Belton, and I know it's overstable, so I know she's just obviously doing the same, throwing something flat.
Yeah,
Hyzer's down the hill.
It's always nice to be overstable when you're moving downhill. To give yourself that extra bit of stability to fight the wind and the air.
I was
Not as long as you wanted.
No, I didn't like that spot at all. I wanted to be kind of up by that tree.
Just made it past the tree.
And if she's not too far, she should be okay. I know there's like a little flat spot down there on the right.
Yeah.
And I just took a mid. I felt more comfortable hitting that tighter gap and trying to just get down in the bowl. Give myself an opportunity possibly.
Okay.
But definitely more left than I think you want to be.
Yeah, you're going to be like needing to be a little creative down there. And I didn't want to leave any distance off, so I pulled it hard. And, you know, I have some work to do down there too.
Yeah. Yeah, and Paige got way up here to the corner.
Wow, this is an ideal drive that you dream of. And then the second shot is super pumped.
Yep. Nice.
Wow,
what a skip.
Super skip pump. Yeah. Circle 1, 25 feet at most.
Yeah, I think that's about perfect.
No problem. She's still
Yeah, you'll
up
be
there.
looking at it. Once you're up top, you kind of can scramble. I had no footing, so I had to kind of just, unfortunate spot to be.
It's a great hit.
I'd love to.
You had to shape a shot around those trees.
I didn't know for sure if Paige was parked or not.
Right, we cannot see the green from there.
And then I,
you would not assume that she's parked
I wouldn't
because
I mean, I know that she has the power, but it's
park-
kind of, I think it would have been, maybe I should have walked up, but
What were you thinking? Because you knew
that's about all I could do. I mean, I'm not running up in that mud.
Yeah, it's like you do
I don't have a thumber. I don't have a tomahawk.
You
so
did what you could. It's like
try to make this, I guess. I was running it for sure, and then keeping it close. And
not far at all.
Not to say that she would miss, but in case.
Speaking of running it,
yeah,
gotta run it.
Oh yeah, okay, because that would have. I got you.
Just need it all.
Absolutely.
Yeah, totally. For the W, like 20 feet. Wow, and that's an eagle, guys.
Ooh, all right.
Yeah, Paige, so clutch.
She fought through all the adversity for sure.
When you need it the most, I mean, she pulled it out. It's to finish a birdie eagle. Gotta give her so many props for that.
Yep. Especially with the weather delays and the these scores count, these scores
Yeah,
don't count. You're
tough one for
done.
all
You
the
have
players.
5 more holes.
If those
Yeah,
scores,
so
if
props to
this
her.
final 9 didn't count, Rebecca Cox would have won.
Wow. Paige Pierce goes birdie eagle for the win. Guys, if you haven't, you need to check out the Jomez coverage of the women's final day. It was insane.
Absolutely incredible.
Wow.
Yeah, the shot making ability by the top women in the world are incredible. Thank you guys for tuning in to the MPO coverage, and we'll see you on the back 9.